retreats, they're so different for different people. I mean, like people, if nobody's been to a retreat and someone says, so you're going to a retreat, are you? They automatically think yoga, sound baths, vegan food, and maybe you might go for a hike in some Spanish hills somewhere. So you know what I mean. You've got that already, this preconceived conception of what it is. And like literally anyone can hold a retreat. You can get remote working retreats, you can get silent retreats, you can get someone who does arts and craft retreats, a music retreat, singing retreat. Anybody can do a retreat these days. People really like and love immersive experiences, and that is essentially what a retreat is. And in some ways, I kind of wish that somebody, maybe this is something to put on my to-do list, my ever-growing to-do list, come up with another word that will describe retreat as in like a modern day retreat.
Welcome back to Rad-Ventures, the podcast that takes you on an exhilarating journey through the lives of business owners and entrepreneurs. Today's guest, Nikkola Wright. Welcome, Nikkola.
Hi, Richard. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me here.
You're most welcome. Great to have you on the show. How about you tell our listeners and watchers all about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I own Nikcollab. I am essentially someone who offers business support to people who work in wellness industries. That can be anything from basic admin tasks to project management, also automating, streamlining their processes, all types of things like that to make running their business a lot easier. And then also what I do is I plan retreats. So that's the fun side of my business. I get involved with wellness events and retreats, from day retreats right through to a full week, both in the UK and in Europe.
That sounds fantastic. I love the fact that you've got like a fun side of your business too. We work in a very similar field. I describe myself as an administration and business support consultant nowadays. But essentially, we're virtual assistants, right?
Yeah. We work virtually and we assist people.
Yeah. And my fun side of my business is content creation, podcasting, and YouTube. So I'd never thought of it until you just said the fun bit of my business is retreats.
Yeah, everybody needs a fun side of their business. I mean, look, I love all of it. I do, but you need a fun side, right? You need something which you are like really passionate about, you genuinely enjoy it, and it doesn't actually feel like work. If you have that side in addition to the work side, I think that's a really good balance.
That is a great balance. So how long have you been doing what you've been doing then, Nikkola?
Just over a year and a half now. I genuinely started off as a general VA, offering everything to everyone as you do. And I very quickly realised that actually I didn't really enjoy doing people's inboxes or, sort of general admin things. Like, I have a lot of experience from different types of backgrounds, and I really wanted to bring my degree and my master's and all of my experience and kind of bring it together and work with people in an industry that I was really passionate about, and something that I know that I can kind of like develop as it goes. I've got lots of different ideas about how I can scale my business up. So in the last probably 9 months, that's where I kind of pivoted and started predominantly working with wellness professionals and also organising retreats for other people. Hopefully eventually I'll be able to run my own retreats. That is also in the pipeline. But it was about 9 months ago, and I just thought this is who I enjoy working with. I get it. I've worked in that industry before. And also, I really feel like a lot of people in the wellness industry have so many great gifts to share with people, but they don't always have the business kind of experience, or the systems can be a bit of a mess once they start getting busier. Can't really keep on top of things themselves. So I just decided to niche into that industry. And with my experience of events and corporate events, I thought, why not pivot that as well and do retreats, because I love a retreat. So yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love that. So the business support side then, what type of things do you do when you're supporting wellness professionals?
It really depends, because I have such a different clients for different things. Like, I've got a number of clients where I literally meet with them on a regular basis, every week, every 2 weeks. We have a strategy call, decide what it is that they're going to be focusing on for the next week or two, and then obviously there's the accountability aspect of that. Out of that, some clients then want me to implement some of those things to help them stay on track. So if there's certain things like automations need setting up, or they want to focus on a sales funnel or something like that, then obviously I would work on that with them too. And then I've got another client who owns a retreat venue in France. I was working there on site last week. And I really predominantly manage like their volunteers, to be honest, but I also get involved in a lot of the admin side, like keeping their staff manuals up to date, and like, you know, helping out with any other types of admin tasks that they might need, spreadsheets. Trello board is a massive thing for them. Like they have like literally 10 to 12 Trello boards and all different aspects of their business. So making sure that all of that is all linked together, updated, and all of that type of stuff. And then I've got another client who is it's quite a big client where it is a lot of admin work, but it is also helping them to plan their events. They do a lot of wellness events, traveling up and down the country. And then I have another client which I just help them out ad hoc with like website updates and like, you know, helping them out with a bit of social media. So it's so varied that, you know, it can be anything. And then the other kind of like chunky bits of work, the kind of is obviously like the actual retreats themselves. And I don't ever take on more than 1 to 2 retreats at a time because they are very, very time consuming. And also I don't want to get mixed up with what one retreat is wanted and the other retreat. You know, like I reckon it could be quite easy to do that if you've got too many retreats on the go, plus you're trying to keep all the other business as usual stuff going. And so I always like try and, you know, make sure that whatever work I'm doing with my clients, like they're getting the full me rather than somebody focusing on this retreat, that retreat, a wellness event, blah 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 blah. Like, you know, try and focus as much as possible. Because as you know, it's a right good old juggling act, isn't it? Being a
I mean, you beat me to it with that. I was just about to say it's very similar. You know, you're talking, and I'm like, is this me? And I was like, it's such a juggling act that
yeah.
I was just thinking. My two main clients are one's a solicitor's firm, and one is
Yeah.
an arboricultural consultant. So he looks at
Right.
trees and reports on trees, but
Yeah.
he doesn't interfere with trees, as it were.
Yeah.
So he's not a tree surgeon or anything. But you know, so one day I could be talking about, you know, pollarding a 8-meter oak tree, and the next minute I could be talking about, you know,
A slip and trip.
the financial arrangements in a divorce. Um,
Right.
so you're wearing different hats all the time, aren't you? So what you don't want is like a gong. What is it? What bell ring? Gong wash, isn't it, or something? You don't want people going to a gong wash retreat and turning up to
A
the
sound
sound
bath.
spa or something, do you? Sound bath, that's it.
No, exactly. Well, yeah, because retreats, they're so different for different people. I mean, like people, if nobody's been to a retreat and someone says, you know, oh, so you're going to a retreat, are you? They automatically think yoga, sound baths, vegan food, you know, like, and maybe you might go for a hike in some Spanish hills somewhere. So, you know what I mean? You've got that already, this preconceived conception of what it is. And like literally anyone can hold a retreat. You can get remote working retreats, you can get silent retreats, you can get someone who does arts and craft retreats, a music retreat, singing retreat. Anybody can do a retreat these days. People really like and love immersive experiences, and that is essentially what a retreat is. And I kind of, in some ways, I kind of wish that somebody, maybe this is something to put on my to-do list, my ever-growing to-do list, come up with another word that will describe retreat as in like a modern day retreat, because when you do say retreat, it does have that kind of, you know, image automatically. Yoga, oh, I don't like
Yeah,
yoga.
yeah.
It's not that type of retreat.
Well, when you find that word, let us know and we'll put it in the show notes. And then we'll see
Yeah,
if
I
we
need
can
to,
like,
don't I? I could become famous
yeah,
just off
I
this
think so.
word.
Yeah. In the Oxford English Dictionary, and it'll say like underneath by Nikkola.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to push it up to my
So
priorities.
I think so. That's like a priority A task. So so organizing retreats, business support, is that something you always wanted to do?
No. um,
Yeah,
in all honesty, when I was at school, I really wanted to be an interior designer, believe it or not.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. it's not too dissimilar. It's still creative. You're still creating spaces, aren't you? You're still creating an
Hmm.
experience for somebody to sit in a wonderful room.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at the time when I was younger, I didn't go to university. It wasn't really a thing. I know it sounds weird, but like, yeah, my parents never went to uni and it just wasn't really a thing. Like, my mum was very much like, get a job in a bank and you'll be set for life. I mean, obviously, that's not the case anymore. Thank God I never went to work in a bank. But I started off working in law, funnily enough. Worked in a law firm, a local one. At the age of 16, I started working there. My mum worked in a solicitor, so it was quite easy to follow in her footsteps. So I took myself off to night
Hmm.
school to learn typing, and I thought, oh, got a career here, typing. But actually, that has fed into my career, hasn't it? Because you need to be able to type as a VA. Then I went and worked I left. I spread my wings and I went to work in the nearest city in a firm of solicitors, which was a big thing for me. In my sort of like, I think it was about 20 at the time, and then yeah, that was great. Actually, it really opened my eyes and it gave me a lot of confidence in the workplace because I went in working as a legal secretary and then I very quickly got promoted to work on the small claims team. And then I went and worked as a fee earner and I was a team leader there as well. I stayed there for like literally a few weeks shy of 10 years. So I had quite a good career there and it was, lots of ups and downs while I was there, but it also was very, very good for, building up those work skills. And being a fee earner in itself is very much almost like project management. You're following a process and you're having to use all these systems. And, over time, these systems obviously get changed and they upgrade them. So you're having to learn another system and having to learn how to instruct barristers and talk to barristers and people at different levels to you. So it was very much probably very integral to kind of the types of things that I've then gone on to do, throughout my career. So yeah, I left there I think I'd just turned 30. And since then, it were all a bit up and down, to be honest. Since then, things took weird turns. And I decided after 10 years, I don't want to work in a law firm anymore. I want to do something meaningful. So I went to work in a charity. And that was quite heavy going because it was working in a charity where it was like prevention of children being exposed to grooming and sexual exploitation, and it was very worthwhile work but also very taxing emotionally. So yeah, from there then I went to university. I took myself off to uni to prove to myself that I could do that. Why not, with a couple of kids in tow? Sounded like fun at the time, and it
Right.
was, to be honest. But yeah, that's where things really changed for me once I went to uni in my mid.
I was going to say, I would imagine that Freshers Week was slightly different in your mid 30s to the
What do you
19-year-old
mean?
Freshers Week.
Yeah, we love a Freshers Week. No, the slices of free pizza were nice. Yes, you are right. Freshers Week was very different. Weirdly, so the course I did social psychology, which was amazing, and there
Hmm.
was actually quite a lot of mature students. I hate that term mature because even at 35, I didn't feel that mature. But
Mm.
there was a number of women that were around about the same age, and actually we just had a great time over those 3 years. It was really, really good, and it did actually do that again, just going and doing that degree. I loved it that much that I ended up staying on and doing a master's. I really just enjoyed that time. I think a nice little break from the usual working life,
Mm.
and just doing something for me. It was something that felt very worthwhile at the time. So yeah, but again, like adding extra skills to the skill set, research and all of that type of stuff, and like presentation. I'd been asked to be part of a women in leadership program through the university, so I had to give up and do a bit of a speech for that. And that was all new stuff for me. Like, I'd done like training in settings and delivered training to people before, and like in smaller settings with people that I'd worked with, but never in a room full of people that I didn't know.
Mm.
Terrifying, but once you've done it once, it's not as daunting the next time. So yeah, great experiences there. Great friendships made along the way as well, which was nice.
Yeah. So did you go to a local university then, or did you kind of
Yeah,
like move everyone?
yeah. No, I went to a local one. So I live just outside Leeds, which is really handy. Um, and yeah, so I went to Leeds Beckett. I did my social psychology degree there. And like I say, I enjoyed it that much that I stayed on and did a master's in international human rights practice, which sounds very posh, doesn't it? Haven't done anything with that.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was very
I was gonna
interesting.
say, and okay, so how long ago was that in between finishing your masters and then setting up your business?
Well, following on from my masters, we were just coming out of lockdowns for COVID. Things were a bit
Okay.
odd, weren't they? I'd also had another child at that point because I don't like to do things by halves. I obviously like to just throw myself into everything. So I was actually finishing a masters off just after I'd given birth to my little boy. So that will have been, well, he's just turned 5. After that, I ended up working at a fintech company doing office management and people experience, and that's where the corporate events and came in, which was brilliant because it was a global company. We had offices in Germany, Lithuania, India, and then obviously we had offices in the UK as well. One in Skipton, just outside Leeds, and then so I got involved in all sorts of things there, rebranding and then branding of like the offices and moving us to a new office in London and project managing all of that side of things like the ordering the furniture and all the techie stuff and all of that. But then the event side of it as well, like there was some sort of like hybrid stuff where part of us would be in person and then we'd have some stuff that was online to cater for the ones that like worked in India and all that type of stuff. It was such good fun,
Mm.
but they actually got bought out whilst I was there. And then things just became not as fun because the new like company that had bought it, they were just so different. They were a German company and like their kind of like ethos and the way that they were towards like their staff and so it was just totally different to what it had been. And very quickly the people experience side of things started kind of like becoming less and less. And what I realised was is that I actually really enjoyed that side of things. I love like the events and I love getting stuck into like projects and stuff. I'm not so much so. I mean, I can do health and safety, but like risk assessments and health and safety are not high on my list of enjoyment levels. When it comes to like doing things, if you have to do it, that's fine. But when you're just going around and like, oh, I've got to test the fire alarm today, it just is too monotonous for me. I love the projects in between, and if I can get a good balance of that, I'm happy doing all of this, all of the stuff that needs to be done. But I like to balance it out with the fun things as well. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's only so many digital screen assessment forms you can give out, right?
Oh God, yeah. Don't even take me back.
I was talking about those yesterday.
Yeah, and then like stock take of the stationery cupboard. Woo, yay! Oh, we've run out of toilet roll. Right, I better order
Ah,
some more. Then it's all fine. It's all
yeah.
good. Everybody needs that. It's all part of the experience. But it's like give me a project. Like we had an amazing project where we were creating. Like when you onboard a new member of staff and you get these lovely little gift boxes and choosing what to put into those gift boxes and I was essentially putting those together and sending them out in person with a little handwritten note. Oh, I loved that. Like that was amazing. And I was like, what a great experience. And to receive that on your first day and you get this nice little box with all these little gifts in, a little cookie and a water bottle and like these useful things and then your laptop and welcome, I won't mention any names of the company, but it was like, that was a really nice part of it. And I think it just really, really like highlighted to me that for me, I need to be working with people and like if I'm creating like experiences and people love that, that really feeds into my soul. I'm like, I can get passionate about that all day long. And of course, I want to keep them safe. Fire safety, safety first.
I think that's the beauty of doing what we do as business owners, entrepreneurs, and freelancers, etc. Is that yes, you have your core service, but as you
Yeah,
get to know someone better, they'll be like, "Oh, you've done a really good job on that one. Do you think actually I need this doing? Do you think you could take that on for me?" And
yeah.
you find yourself, like you say, booking retreats for someone to south of France or something you never thought you would do,
Yeah,
even like a designing a poster for
yeah.
your client kind of thing. It's just one of those where if you were in the like just if you're in customer service, for example, of the telephones, the bosses are the floor manager isn't going to walk up to you and be like, "Do you think you could do a poster to welcome the new team members to the new department or something?" You're not going to get that, are you?
No, because it's all
But so
facts and figures, isn't it? You've got to answer
yeah,
the
that's
phone
it.
within
It's like,
two
how can you
rings.
answer 100 phone calls per day? Yeah, 2 rings. How can you answer 100 calls per day if you're making a poster for someone on Canva?
Yeah. Yeah. You're still making that poster. It's taking you 3.5 hours. Whereas obviously with us guys, we're self-employed. We'll be like, yeah, we can do it in whatever. And it's like, if it takes us longer than that, then tough. Like, that's our choice. Um, but yeah, like you say about working in France, like I was working at a retreat venue in France just last week. And when I was there, it was a bit of like a little pinch me moment because I was a bit like, oh, I'm actually in France. I'm working in France, which is really nice. And not only that, this is a long-standing client, and I communicate with like members of the staff, permanent members of staff. But then I also, I'm the one that organises all the volunteers. So to be on site and actually meeting these people in person, and seeing how hard the volunteers were working, and do you know what? It was an amazing experience. Something that I definitely want to be doing more of for sure. That was another fun part of my job.
That sounds really good. Cool. So we've done what you do now. We've
Yeah.
done what you started with and how you got there. I think this is the ideal opportunity for us to run through the questions. And of course, when we come across a couple of the admin-y ones, we're probably going to deep dive into those, especially I think when we get to like systems, CRMs kind of stuff. So just let me grab the questions because I've not done a podcast recording for a little while. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. What has been your favourite age so far?
That's a good question. Do you know what? I'm 44 and I'm actually really enjoying being 44. I think this year has been a weird year. There's been loads of weird stuff happen this year, like stuff that you just couldn't even write. But I don't know. I'm enjoying what I'm doing career-wise. And even when there's been weird stuff or difficult stuff that's been happening this year, I must really love my business because that's what keeps bringing me back. That's the thing that keeps me grounded. I'm just like, do you know what? You can't control that. Let's just crack on and do something, like with productive with your business. And so yeah, I have to say 44,
I like
not
it.
like the
I would
present.
not have put you at 44.
Would you not? Do I
Yes,
seem immature?
no, much younger. Okay, question number 2. What is your favourite quote? This could be a movie quote, a meme, a motivational quote, or any other quote you can think of.
Oh God, do you know what? I have a terrible memory. So when people ask me things like this and I have to try and think of something on the spot, I would probably just like take myself back to like Oasis, don't look back in anger. Like, and I think that's a good quote, right? Like things can really piss you off sometimes, but just get over it, move on. It's all right. Roll with it.
I like what you did there. Two in one.
Sorry, I
I
couldn't
think
resist.
yeah, time heals all. I like it. We love a good pun on here and a dad joke. I think time heals all wounds, doesn't it? With regard to don't look back in anger. And I always think to myself, is that going to bother you in a week, 2 weeks, a month, a year, 5 years? Most of
Yeah.
the time, obviously some things will bother you in 5 years, but the fact that you just typed the wrong word in an email and sent it to a client by accident, that's not going to affect you in 5 years, is it?
No, although
Um,
you say
so yeah,
that, but once when I was working at the law firm, now luckily I had an amazing team leader, and he obviously could take a joke. But once 'cause I was his assistant at the time, and I had a small team, and I'd emailed somebody saying, "God, what is up with Tony this morning?" Blah blah blah. But I didn't send it to that person. I sent it to Tony, my boss.
no,
And honestly, for the rest of the day, luckily there was pillars in the office, so like I was like running between the pillars, hiding from him to get out of the office. And then the next day I saw him, and he just laughed about it. It was like I actually found it really funny, and I was like, it just shows I care, but highly inappropriate. I was in my 20s then.
yeah,
I've learnt a lot since then.
yeah. I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? I love email because there's proof kind of thing. It's written there. Someone comes back to you later on and says what happened here. I'll be like, there's the emails. You can read them.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's like if I'm talking to one of my clients about one of their clients, I'm always cautious of what I say because just in case he gets the wrong thread and then replies them in it, and that's like,
oh
oh,
yeah,
like, oh, you're talking about people at the local planning authority kind of thing. It's like,
yeah.
no, be careful.
No, exactly. You don't
Always
want
use a
them to be
secret code.
going and requesting a copy of their notes either, do you? And all of a sudden there's an
That's
email
it.
from
Yeah,
you
I
in
was like,
there.
yeah, what is it? A SARS request, and all of a sudden you have to like send your WhatsApp messages that say,
Exactly. But to be honest, though, I mean, like, you live and you learn, don't you? And the thing is, as well, I have to say that I'm always respectful over email or anything like that. The reason being is because,
mm,
like, I genuinely don't really fall out with people over email or anything like that. And actually, that email that I sent, it was out of concern. Like, clearly
mm.
I'm a caring person. But like, yeah, I mean, you do hear horror stories, don't you, of people where they've sent like the wrong emails to people and this, and I just think, oh, I don't know, that probably would keep me awake at night, I have to say.
Yeah, I think when I was at a company, I won't name any names, but there was like a group email address, and
Mm,
there's like some system went down. Can't remember what it was, but the managing directors and the owners of the company start on this group email. Who knows what's going on, kind of thing. And it
yeah.
wasn't a small company, and the IT director had emailed like one of the IT managers, and he's like, "What's this?" And they emailed back saying, such and such, and he put back FFS to the whole company. It was like, whoopsie. Not particularly bad, but at the same time, it was a bit like,
Yeah, yeah. Especially when it's the corporate world, they just expect a certain level of, they're a lot tighter on stuff like that, aren't they? If it's a small kind of like, business and everybody's on the same level, then you can kind of get away with it a bit more. But yeah, not great.
right. Question number 3: Google Suite or Microsoft 365?
I say Google. I use both
Oh, I
though.
thought you were
It
going to say
depends.
Microsoft.
Yeah, it depends because I use both because my clients use different stuff. I'm always
Hmm.
having to switch between Microsoft and then one of my clients uses Google Drive, and I'm having to drop things in there because it's being weird and it don't want to read that document. And I don't know. I mean, I don't have a love for either. It's just for me that's just a tool for me to do my job, and I'll just use
Hmm.
anything. I know some people are really kind of like what's the word, embrace whatever it is that they're using in that respect. I'm more likely to get like a little bit excited over maybe using like Zapier and setting up some automations or something like, oh, that can talk to that and
Hmm.
that can do that, and that, oh what, that can send me an email when
Yeah.
somebody does that.
I was just about to say, so do some of your clients, if there's some of them using Google, some of them using Microsoft, some are probably using Apple,
Hmm.
but it's like, have you experienced like Kajabi and stuff like that? Some of your clients using that and solely that?
Yeah, so like I have used Kajabi for myself, but then um I now use FEA Create, which is Go High Level. So that's something that I use as well for my clients. So like when I'm setting up like the sales pages and things for their retreats,
Mm.
or if they need sales funnels or anything like setting up, I can do all of that inside of there, which when I started using it at first I was like, oh my God. Like I thought I was good at systems, but when you just it was totally alien and I was like, don't even know if I'm ever going to be able to work my way around this. But actually, now that I know everything I need to know about it, I love it because it's so easy. But yeah, so I think when you start using systems and you realize what you can actually achieve from it. I mean, I never imagined that I would be able to build my own website, set up all of these funnels, like to the point where it's like someone clicks on a link and then they can buy this like course that you've built, and then it'll take you through to the checkout, and then you get a nice thank you page. You don't realize that that's all a process, and somebody has to put all of that together, and it takes a long time to get it right. One little thing, that's wrong on that, and it just doesn't work. So that side of thing, I think I'm more likely to get excited about. Something that actually produces a bit of magic, I would call it. Something where you just
Yeah.
don't even realize that exists.
Yeah, I love that. Do you use like do you use something to organize yourself every day?
Aside from my calendar.
Well, I meant like like you mentioned Trello for some of your clients earlier. Do you
Yeah,
use like
I
Trello,
use Trello
Asana?
myself. I have a whole Trello system. I call it my
Hmm.
CEO virtual boardroom. So I have got
Oh
like
right.
I've got one board which is like my central board, and
Hmm.
I even have one list where like I've got automations so that every 24 hours it updates with my things for the next day, and then I can move things over, like put it into later this week or whatever. But like that is really useful because I just check in with that every morning. But then from that, it's a bit like a rabbit's warren, because it's like I've got links to all my other boards, and I've got my, like my marketing on there and all my analytics and, just everything that I need, all my mini projects and stuff I'm working on. And then each of my clients have all got a Trello board as well. I need that because
Yeah.
otherwise I'm just not going to remember what I'm doing. Like I'd wake up in the morning and I'd be a bit like, I don't know what I need to do today. Because, as we've said already, it's the juggling act, and you can keep as many to-do lists as you want, but I don't know about you. Unless it's like somewhere prominent, if I don't see that list, I still don't know what I'm doing. I need to be on top of stuff in that way. And I think with Trello as well, I've even got it on my phone now because it's so easy just to add things as you go. But another reason why I use Trello is because I email ideas and stuff to my Trello board all the time for research. And, like idea, one day you might be walking down the street and you get like a little idea about what you could write in a newsletter, or oh, that'd make a really good post. Or, oh, I've never thought about that perspective before. Maybe I could use that in my marketing. If you don't write it there and then, it's gone. Like, that's it. I wouldn't ever think of that ever again. So, yeah, Trello is a good one for me. One of my clients has just started using Notion as well, and I'm kind of having to dive back into that. That has its pros, but it's just a bit more, not complicated, but I think for me, Trello, just the fact that I can move things around really easily is like a massive plus for me. And it's just visually, it's just a lot easier for me to follow.
Yeah, I used to use Trello, and I quite liked it, but I overcomplicated it.
Yeah.
I made it far too complicated for what I needed. I mean, to do my invoices, it was taking me like 2 hours or something. So I was like, no, I'm not going to use this anymore, and I swapped to something else. But
Yeah.
I've kind of tried Notion. Like, I was like, Notion looks really good. I'm going to use that. It's got a desktop app, so it's nice. You can go on your phone. You can do it online. I was like, yeah. And I even me and ChatGPT, we even like
Yeah.
we programmed the board and everything how I needed it. And then I was just like, it's not quite doing everything I want it to do. And so I
Yeah.
was like, back to whatever it is I use now.
Yeah. It's a bit annoying as well, though, isn't it? Because you spend all your time, don't you, doing these things thinking, yes, that's it. This is the next big thing. This is going to make me £1,000,000 because I'm going to be so organised. I'm going to have all these automations. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then the reality is actually, like you say, sometimes it's a bit too overcomplicated. You don't necessarily need it. I think I'm a little bit more cautious with how I spend my time these days, let's say. But I was like you, when I first set up Trello, I probably had far too many boards for far too many things. And there was like quite a lot of overlapping of things. And then one day, I think I just got really frustrated. And it were almost like, when you have a clear out at home, you're a bit like, right, I'm going to have a cull. I need to literally just have a massive declutter. And I spent literally a day and a half just going through my Trello. I had to write it down manually as well. And just like, what is on these boards? And like go through everything and just be like, right, that can go, that can go, that can go. And once I'd done that, that was when I realised, actually, I've got a really good system here. And I even build it out for clients as a service, like, and it does work. Like, once you've got that central board, and that's almost like your little motherboard. Like, you go in and you look at what you need to do for the day, but then whatever it is that you're working on for that particular morning or whatever, you can easily access those other boards, link it all up to your Google Drive or whatever it is that you use, and it's an easy way to navigate around your system and just keep track of what you're doing. So I am an advocate for Trello, but I do know that other people do use other things, and that's all good. I think it's about finding what works for you, isn't it? Like, how does your brain work, and does this work for you?
Yeah. I think, like you say, if you're a particularly visual person, Trello's great because you can slide things over. I like a bit of both. I like the visual aspect, but I wanted it in like a calendar kind of style.
Yeah.
But so I'd like have my main board set up as like a weekly calendar, and then I would just drag the things across.
Yeah.
But I wanted a bit more.
Yeah.
I wanted logos, not colours and things like that. But that was quite a while ago. Anyway,
You can
fell
upload
down a
links now.
small rabbit hole there.
Yeah, we did Trello.
They have changed quite a
Trello
bit.
Rabbit. Yeah, you can upload images and links and stuff to your boards now. I must admit, I spend far too much time making them look very visually pleasing.
Mm.
But that's my creative side. I do that in my free time. Anyway,
My
let's get
friend
out of the
uses it and
Trello rabbit
swears by
hole.
it. He organises it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's jump out of the Trello rabbit hole. The Jack Russells come to find us. That's a
My
northern
grandma
joke,
used to
isn't
have a Jack Russell.
it? Did he wear a flat cap?
My granddad did actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
true northerner.
And also the Jack Russell was called Snowy. Guess what colour he wore? He wore actually white. Don't worry.
White.
It's like Tintin.
Yeah, I like Tintin. I've got Tintin Series 1 on Blu-ray.
Do you know what? I think I kind of remember watching it, but the only thing though is that I was just obsessed with the dog because it was called Snowy. So, and it was my grandma's dog.
Yeah,
So that was the only
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was really good, I think. Right, Tintin aside. Question number 4.
yeah,
What app can you not live without? Probably Trello.
yeah, yeah. I would say Trello, but then yeah, and then like yeah, I would say Trello, and then I would say now I can't live without FEA Create now either. Which, as I say, it's a form of
Hmm.
go high level. It's very similar to Kajabi. It does a lot of the same things. Automates your social media. You can build courses on there. You can have web pages.
Hmm.
You host your website, do all your sales funnels and emails, and your newsletters and all that type of stuff. And I think for me now that has become like a very integral part of how I run my own business, but then also how I run some of my clients' like businesses as well. So I think if that was to go
Yeah,
tomorrow and I had to set something like that up again, that would make me a very upset person.
I would imagine so. Is it? Because Kajabi's quite pricey, isn't it? If I remember
Mm.
correctly, is the one you're using a similar, or is it much more
Yeah,
economical?
I mean, I think, what do I pay? $7 a month. But that's
Hmm.
also including the FEA membership as well. There's quite a lot of training and stuff that's in there. You get to like attend like a couple of like online networking groups and stuff like that as well. So yeah, like and I really enjoy being part of that. Like it's a nice set of women that's part of that group. And I think when you're working remotely, you kind of need to find like some online groups that you are quite happy to jump in on and like have chats with. And a lot of the networking stuff, it's not, it can be around about business, but you don't go in on there and just kind of like promote yourself and sell who you are, even though that can be frustrating at times. We're in business, we want to do business, but like a lot of it is, like having general chats and like frustrations or like, experiences of working remotely and independently on your own, which at times can be lonely, can't it? So yeah.
Certainly
So I
can.
think on that basis, because it includes the membership as well as the platform, I do think it's actually quite good value for money as
Hmm.
opposed to Kajabi. I joined Kajabi on like a they do these offers like 3 months for I don't know $99 or something. So you build everything out. They give you one funnel, which one funnel is no use to nobody apart from you're just seeing how to set up a funnel in Kajabi. That is what the whole point of that is. There's no other point because for me, I mean, I've got like 4 or 5 funnels that run off mine, like just people booking, I mean, discovery calls or something. So it's like that just was never enough. And then all of a sudden, oh well, if you want to upgrade to this many funnels or an unlimited amount of funnels, it's going to be 100 and I don't know how much it is, $49 a month or so. And it's just like for the small business owner, it becomes unaffordable. Like it's not like that's a huge amount of like we've got to work a number of hours to be able to even justify that going out every
Hmm.
month. So yeah, that's why I was really pleased when I came across FEA, and I actually just moved everything over there pretty quickly. Actually, I was just like, yeah, I'm sold because it offers pretty much the same but for less money, which I'm
Nice.
Northern. We save our pennies.
Yeah.
More pennies, more
Well,
pints.
that's it.
I'm only joking.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of.
I've never heard it. It's like more penny, more pounds. No, more pennies, more pints.
Well, I was joking, but yeah, it works.
It works. It works. Maybe you could have pint glasses with your pennies in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is coffee in here, by the way. It's not a pint.
Okie dokie. We believe you. It's too small for a pint, isn't it? Maybe a half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't do
Do you know what we
halves.
should introduce on the Rad-Ventures podcast? We should like bring a beer next time.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll have a Friday night in.
I think so.
Uh,
When we have had a little hiatus on the podcast, but when
yeah.
season 2 launches, it's going to have like the beer section where someone has to bring a pint of their beverage of choice, even if it's a
So,
pint of lemonade or something.
yeah. I think, do you know what? You're onto something there. And also, you might be able to get
Yeah.
sponsorships from the actual beer places.
Oh yeah,
Brewdog.
imagine
Now,
that. Like if
Brewdog, they might be well up for
yeah,
something like that.
like Brewdog could send the drinks to the respective like
Yeah,
addresses, and then you could be like, yeah, it's sponsored by Brewdog.
yeah. Affiliate link
Other
below.
beer providers also available. Yeah, we'll call it like the right 5 minutes or something, or setting the world to rights. That's what we'll call it. But we'll do
I
it your
like
rights
that.
as a homage to you. Give us
Yeah.
the idea.
Do you know what? You've just given me the name for my permanent podcast.
Well, there you go. Send me royalties.
Yeah, just send me your affiliate link. We'll sort it out. Don't worry.
Yeah, I will do. And if you need to use Riverside, I've got an affiliate link for that. That's the software we're using today to record this podcast. And if our guests or listeners would like my affiliate link, it'll be in the show notes.
Yes. Thank you. I shall be using that.
Plug done. So, right, let's get this round of question done, and then we'll get the show. We'll casually bring the show to a nice end. But I didn't say the word wrap up. So keep watching if you've made it this far. Okay, question number 5 then. I know the answer to this one is going to be 0, but how many unread emails do you have on your phone right now?
On my phone?
Yeah,
Personal or work?
both.
Both. Personal. Oh,
Hmm.
shocking. Like, shocking. Do I even read half of them? I have a look. I'll see things pop up on my phone.
Hmm.
I'll go like this and I'll go, oh, there's one there from the school. I should read that. Or, oh, there's one
Yeah.
from so and so. I should read that. The rest of them get unread. Work emails. I think there's probably about 3 unread in there at the moment, in all honesty. They're probably going to remain unread. It's so, you know, like when you sign up to something and you put the wrong email address in and you're like, I really need to unsubscribe to that because I don't need that cluttering up my work emails. And it's like off Substack or something. My client emails always get read, Richard. You should know that is priority.
Top priority.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, if you own your domain, I've said this before, so apologies to what regular watchers slash listeners. But if you own your domain, you could set up like a spam at NikkolaWright.com.
Yeah.
And then when you sign up to these mail lists, it'll all go into the spam box, and it won't hassle your main email address.
Do you know what? That is like a total life hack, isn't it? Why did I not even think of
There you
that?
go. There's another one. Send me royalties.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll try it out. I'll let you know how I get
Um,
on.
yeah, I mean, you'll have to obviously resubscribe to all these lists with your new email address.
Yeah, no.
But then when you fancy a look through the spam, like you might want to see, Marks and Spencers have got an offer on it this week or something, and like just check on through, or Amazon Prime Day voucher or something like that, and you could be like, oh,
Yeah.
it's in the spam box. Look at that.
Yeah. Do you know? That's what I've been using my personal email address for. It's one of them. I've had my personal email address since I was like, I don't know, 15. Whenever email was invented when I was younger, when the World Wide Web came live, and I was a teenager, and I don't want to change it.
That's the questions done. But our final question of the show before the outro is what do you want to be if and when you grow up?
I would like to think that I never grow up. Do you know what? Do you know if money was no object and in my wildest dreams I genuinely would love to run my own retreat venue. I think it would be when my youngest is older, so obviously out of school and stuff because it's too much of a faff around, shall we say, in between then, trying to balance everything out. And also, Brexit and things, it kind of limits the amount of time you can spend places. But I would love my own retreat venue. Now, whether that would be Europe or somewhere in Southeast Asia. I love a bit of Southeast Asia. Like the people are amazing, the weather's amazing, the food's amazing. What's not to like about Southeast Asia? I could definitely run my own retreat venue. I think that is something where I'd be like, wow, I've actually made it, and I'm living a good chunk of my life in a really nice country, enjoying some great weather. Because obviously in the UK we're all obsessed with the weather. Shit again today. It's grey again today. It's raining again today. Oh my God! It's 28 degrees on Thursday and it's 16 degrees today. How does that even happen? Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to live somewhere where it's consistently nice weather for a change. Yeah, retreat
Yeah.
venue owner, I'm going to go with. But with regards to the growing up thing, I mean, I don't
love
know. I
that.
don't really feel much different to what I did when I was like 24. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's I feel younger now than I did when I was in my mid to late 20s. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, it's weird. But then someone says like, if someone like is like, "Oh, you're 40 in October, aren't you, Richard?" I'm like, "Ooh, no, don't say that."
No, I know. Well,
It's weird.
and it's weird because I just think in like 6 years' time I'll be 50, which is like depressing. Well, not depressing. It's great to get old, right? Not everybody gets to do that, but it's just a weird feeling because when you don't feel any older than you did, you do start to think, don't you? What age am I going to feel grown up? I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Oh, and the only other thing is, obviously, the weather. I think that's a Yorkshire thing. I think it's just grim there all the time.
When it's sunny here,
As an
though, it
honorary
is beautiful.
Lancastrian, I can say that.
Yeah, but when it's sunny here,
Um,
it is beautiful. It is beautiful. We're very lucky.
yeah,
It's just few
it
and
is.
far between
That's why
sunny
when
days.
people ask me, yeah, well, that's why when people ask me why I moved to the south coast, that's usually what I tell them because I grew up in Lancashire, so it's
Yeah,
like I was like it rained practically every day,
yeah.
and apart from a little shower yesterday, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw rain.
Right. Look at you. Maybe I just need to move to the south coast.
Yeah. Well, you got to pick your area. Don't move to my area because don't be encroaching on my territory, nicking all my clients.
No, look, I think we offer slightly different things, don't we? We offer slightly different things and work with slightly
Well,
different
now I'm
people.
moving over to. After
Go
hearing
on.
how great the wellness stuff is and the retreats and stuff, guess what? I'm offering my new service for next week.
Do you know what, Richard? I'm open to collaborations anytime. So
Yeah, I think I'll stick with my trees and my law.
yeah, they're probably a bit safer, to be honest.
I suspect so. But actually, you have made me think of one last thing before we get you to say where everyone can find you. Little shout out to Richard Hiron, the Hironator, a guest on the show, and actually the person. We did do 2 recordings of 2 lots of people, but he is the second recording. But he says that I surround myself with people who are either in the law industry or have been in the law industry. And it's like this massive conspiracy going around the internet. So you've just put more fuel on his fire there, and he will
I've
listen to
just
this one as it's
confirmed.
published. So you have confirmed.
I have confirmed that is a
That's it.
thing. Yeah, it is no longer a conspiracy. It is fact.
That's it. Right. Well, it's been great to talk to you, Nicola. How
Yeah.
about you tell our listeners where they can find out all about you?
Yeah, sure. So they can visit my website, which is www.nikcollab.com. Or they can find me on Instagram, which is Nikcollab_VA_retreats. And thank you very much,
Perfect.
Richard.
That's okay. I'll put those in the show notes as well.
Thank
If you've
you.
made it this far, thank you very much for listening/watching. And there was something I was going to tell you about, another affiliate link. That's it. You can support us on Patreon if you like the show. And I will be back with another guest. Not next week, though, which is what I used to say, but soon. So in the interim, be excellent to each other. And peace out. Thanks for joining us on Rad-Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe via your favourite platform. Always happy to chat, so hit me up in the DMs. And I'll see you on the next Rad-Venture.